The Walt Disney Company could be in a whole heck of a lot of trouble when it comes to Tesla. A YouTube video is now out there where the Walt Disney Company appears to perhaps have assisted Mark Rober. The first half, all about Disney and Disneyland. The second half, about trashing Tesla. No, he's not the only one, but now Disney is having no fun, as it turns out the whole thing is a scandal, and it could be Disney in court with Elon once more. Hello, folks, and welcome back. It is a dandy of a day, and we're coming to you from somewhere sunny, USA. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. Today, we're going to tell you why Disney is in it big time. Elon Musk could, if he wants, go after them, and it has to do with an association with Mark Rober. But there are other YouTubers as well. They are all in on informational warfare, and it is resulting in a situation where Tesla drivers and buyers feel unsafe. Things have gotten completely out of control. Elon saving astronauts, but not able to save his one company, where those who are deranged feel very strange in doing anything other than acting sane. YouTubers are now putting themselves, and we're talking about big channels, some of the biggest out there, are putting themselves at major risk, and there may be money behind this to destroy Elon Musk and Tesla. All right, here we've got out of Ted Cruz. He says an absolute bombshell from Elon Musk on the latest episode of Verdict. Now, we're not going to read all of that. I want to play it because I want you to see what it is that they're angry about, because this is where Elon Musk discusses what he's doing with Doge. And this is why I think they're out to destroy him. Here we go.
One of the things you told me about is what you call
insane.
Magic money computers at the Treasury.
Well,
so tell us about it, because I never heard of that until you brought that up.
Okay, so you may think that that the government computers like all talk to each other. They synchronize. They add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's it's coherent. There's and that the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are actually the real numbers.
In one would think.
They're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. So I call a magic money computer any computer which can just make money out of thin air. That's magic money.
So how does that work?
It just issues payments.
And you said there's something like 11 of these computers at Treasury that are sending out trillions in payments? They're
mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS, there's one or two at state, there's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
14, okay.
They just send money out of nothing.
All right, so there is part of it. The other part of it is that he says in that same podcast, and again, folks, podcasts, he says in that same podcast that by next year, Doge expects that they can cut the expenditures of the government by $1 trillion. And you out there, you might say, hip, hip, hooray, my tax dollars are going to be spent the right way. $1 trillion of waste gone away. But folks, that's $1 trillion that somebody ain't getting. And somebody is not happy about that. There seems to have been a strong turn. I'm going to read this to you. It's a series of tweets. Now, you all may have seen this guy down here. He's the glitter bomber guy, right? He's the squirrel obstacle course guy. Mark Rober fancies himself an engineer and all of that. He is one of several channels that has suddenly turned very negative towards Elon Musk and Tesla. And if you're wondering, why is it Tesla and not SpaceX, which, by the way, is bringing down the astronauts, and, it should be something heroic. Why is it not SpaceX? Why is it not Starlink? Why is it not the Boring Company, etc.? Well, because, or X, by the way. Well, X is privately owned. SpaceX gets all of its contracts from the government. They can't hurt him there, but they can hurt him with Tesla. All right, so here's the story of how YouTubers are destroying themselves to try to destroy Elon Musk. And as we get into this, consider, although we cannot say definitively, ask yourself, is there a secret dark money or dark influence campaign that is causing these people to do these things to their channel? Alex Finn says, this is Mark Rober. He spent years building one of the strongest reputations in social media, loved by tens of millions of followers. Yesterday, he obliterated it all with one 18-minute video. It's a story of greed, deception, and cowardice. Here's what happened. It says, Mark is a longtime YouTuber who spent years accruing over 65 million subs. He filmed wildly entertaining videos, testing the limits of physics and tech. Goes on to say that yesterday he changed all that. Mark put out a video titled, Can You Fool a Self-Driving Car? The concept of the video is simple. Drive a Tesla in full self-driving mode on a road where there's a wall painted like a road. See if the Tesla cameras see the wall and cause the car to stop. Harmless enough, right? Wrong. The video was filled with deception, lies, and illegal undisclosed advertising. This is what Alex is alleging. In the video, the Tesla does not detect the wall and goes right through it. On top of that, there's a kid mannequin that gets absolutely nailed. The inference, of course, there is that it would do the same thing to a real kid. But there are things that Mark doesn't tell you. First of all, he lied about full self-driving. He doesn't use it. He used autopilot, which is Tesla's fancy word for cruise control, which Tesla admits is older and not strong. Even worse, he deactivates it right before he hits the wall. In a sneaky maneuver, he moves the wheel to deactivate. And we'll show that to you in a minute. But why would he so purposefully slander and attack Tesla like this? It goes on to say that he's working with a LiDAR company. Now, I'm not making this allegation. Alex Finn is. But apparently, they're trying to push upon you an alternative technology, a competitive technology against Tesla. Blackout Trade says this. You know what really needs to happen with this Mark Rober fiasco? Tesla needs to pull the data from the car itself and show us exactly what happened. How many attempts, speeds, autopilot engagement, disengagement, the whole thing. The data will show that this was a huge case of fraud. But I doubt, says this Blackout Trades, I doubt Mark wants us to see all of that. Elon Musk and Tesla should sue the pants off this guy. Sad, I had a ton of respect for Mark before the stunt. Now, folks, you can see the video of him driving through the wall, right? And the implication here is that a Tesla will do this. Folks, I want you to pay attention. The monitor on the right that's inside the car is going to have a little rainbow appear above the car. That means it's engaged in cruise control. Watch it disappear right before he hits the wall. Boom. He manually drove through the wall. It disengaged. The cruise control disengaged. And even, let's see if we can get this. Let me go scroll down and see if I can get it. Here we go. If we continue scrolling down here, here it is. The raw footage on YouTube is different than the raw footage that he posted in other places. In other words, these are multiple takes, and if there are multiple takes, that means that there are multiple walls that had to be built and driven through. And that means they knew it the whole way through. Folks, this is a major scandal with one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. Tesla Trillion on X says this, speeding towards a wall at 42 miles per hour, turns on autopilot seconds before impact, crashed, claimed the system doesn't work. Also, autopilot, this is from the screen grab, autopilot is showing the warning the entire time it's on, and it was disengaged just before impact and driven through manually. Now, this is part of a significant number of YouTubers, including this guy here, Jerry Rig Everything, that suddenly have turned dramatically against Tesla. Jerry Rig Everything is the guy who had the excavator that pushes down on the back of a Cybertruck until the back falls off the truck. Now, the claim here is that if you put 10,000 pounds or more of force downward on a Cybertruck, instead of like a regular vehicle, which would bend the frame, the back just falls off. Well, guess what, folks? It's supposed to fall off because if it bent like a normal vehicle, it would crunch the battery pack and it could cause a catastrophe. So it's actually designed to do that. But YouTube channels like Jerry Rig Everything are presenting this as if parts of vehicles are falling off. And you can see if you look here from Jerry Rig Everything, it says, blaming 3 YouTubers for the entire fall of Tesla is wild. Nobody's claiming that. The stock was down 50% before my video even went live. You sure it's not the Roman salute? That's him referencing Elon Musk, waving his hand out to the crowd, and then people taking a few frames of it and presenting it as if it's a Yahtzee salute. So he's into this. The 10 years of failed FSD promises, where's the Roadster? Why are the truck panels glued on, etc., right? But here's where we get into the politics of it. The ship is sinking. This is a YouTube channel that's supposed to be about building things. The ship is sinking. That's Tesla. The captain has fled. That's Elon Musk going to Doge. The crew has sold, and I'm just watching. And you can see that he's very angry because it's getting out there now that it appears there's informational warfare against Elon Musk to destroy his company. Folks, we've got the full story on That Park Place. We recommend you go read it. It's amazing, and it's even tied into Disney because in the same video that Mark Rober does this thing, which now it looks very much like it was all rehearsed with multiple takes to try to get the take they wanted for the narrative they wanted to put out there. Do you know how it starts, Jonas? Do you know how that video starts?
I know.
Marvin, tell us.
Yes, absolutely.
How does it start?
It starts with him sneaking a LiDAR camera into Disneyland, which is not allowed, and detailing how he sneaks it past Disney security in what is basically a how-to guide for how to get banned items into Disneyland.
I've got a thought on this, guys. I think it's fake.
I think it's fake too.
I don't think you can get the cameras. Folks, you can go watch the video. I think the cameras that had to be taken into the park to capture him sneaking through security, there's no way. It's all fake. And what that makes one wonder, Jonas, is someone who is actively trying to put out a very harmful and perhaps manipulated narrative against Tesla. Why does that video start off with Disney? Remember that it was Elon Musk who told Bob Iger to blank himself, and Bob Iger, who has said some nasty things about Elon. What's going on when there's a video that starts off with Disney and ends with Tesla running into a wall? What's going on here?
You know what amazes me?
Please, sir.
Is that these people who are very experienced online or YouTuber types should know they're going to get caught. They should understand, but their hubris is, but I'm smarter than everybody else. Do you remember a thing called Abscam many, many years ago where they set up a deal to attempt to bribe Congress people and said that there was a sheik?
Political stings, yeah.
Well, but here was the deal.
Briberies.
It was in a Georgetown townhouse, and they set up a room in the basement with a bunch of mirrors, one-way mirrors with cameras behind them. But because in those days the tech was relatively primitive compared to now, they had to have a lot of light. And when one of these crooked congressmen went down there and accepted a briefcase full of cash, he actually asked, how come it's so hot and bright in here? And they told him, well, the sheik finds it reminds him of his desert homeland. And he said, okay, that's a good reason, and took the money and walked. That's the level of hubris involved in these people, that they, among all people, should know you can't get away with this stuff in this day and age, and they're the ones who think they can.
I think partly what's happening here, Lou, is that there is an effort, and it's at scale. Now, whether or not it's coordinated, we can't say. Whether or not there's dark money that's causing these people to put their reputations on the line, can't say. But there is an operation at scale, organically or inorganically, to shame anyone from using a Tesla. By the way, take a look at this. This is SpaceX Dragon undocking, bringing the astronauts home. Normally, this would be the reason to celebrate someone. And then if we scroll down on Elon Musk's, this is how he's being treated as opposed to a hero. He says this level of violence is insane and deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. Elizabeth Heigelin posting this in Las Vegas, multiple vehicles in Vegas on fire at the dealership. This is insane. This is absolutely crazy how people are responding to Elon Musk for being part of Doge.
Well, speaking of the Dragon, if I can retrograde back to the DA's various brackets, put up that picture I sent you. This is Ms. McLean, who was the commander of the Dragon flying up there. And when I heard her name and she was doing that, I thought, gee, they should let her on Blast Off yell, yippee-ki-yay MFs. and she should be saying, yeah, fly out to the Space Coast, have a few laughs, blast off into space.
Except she would be saying, it's Gennaro.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's right.
Anyway, there's a McLean we can get behind besides John. So
absolutely. Jonas, you were trying to get
something that I want to bring up here, though,
Please.
Real quick. By the way, on the idea that Mark Rober snuck this into Imagineering or Space Mountain here. This is his video from 3 days ago on one of his other channels of him getting a guided tour of Walt Disney Imagineering.
Well, that's the bigger question, Jonas. He sneaks tech into Disney, supposedly, that makes Disney look very good. That's the first half of the video. The second half is what people have caught now is clearly a manufactured negative story against Tesla. It's shredded his credibility. Are these things connected, Jonas?
Well, The use of LiDAR inside of Disney and the fact that he is getting tours of Disney and talking about all the things that they're talking about on South by Southwest, at South by Southwest. There are several coordinated campaigns going on here at the same time.
And all of this is
Disney
related
is
to this
not
LiDAR
against.
company whose stock went up like crazy. I wonder who owns some of that stock or was gifted some.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
He
We
claims
don't
he
know.
claims he doesn't have any stock in it. He has responded to a lot. He has admitted to the multiple takes. He has
Hold
stated
on,
that
Marvin,
he has
that
no
means
LiDAR stock.
Marvin, that means they built multiple of those stupid walls, which means that it had to be preemptively planned out.
Of course.
It's awful.
He admits that not only were there multiple, like they filmed it over multiple days. He admitted because he had to respond to the people that were calling him a fake. Also, by the way, if you're looking for any other way to point out that this is potentially like a fake thing with Disney, is he's filming security, and you're not allowed to do that. It's the same at an airport. You are not allowed to film security.
And that's causing things like this, in my opinion. This is why these YouTubers who are blowing their reputations for some reason. I don't know who's prompting them to do this, but it needs to stop because it's too far. This is the guy bringing the astronauts back down to Earth. He's the guy who's cutting government waste. Cut this nonsense that's causing people to light these vehicles on fire. This is crazy.
But
This is
Pro,
derangement, bro. This is
the left is
derangement.
tolerant. These are the tolerant people that are committing these acts. These people never get violent. They're completely against violence. They're very against hate.
I'll risk saying it again. There are good people on the left and the right. The problem is the people on the fringes. And when you make these YouTube videos where you show child-shaped mannequins being run over, and we know now it's false. Knock it off. It's too much. Derek, what do you say?
No, I was about to say again what you just said, that this isn't just left-leaning people. Let's just be honest. These are communists. These are people that want to destroy the country. That's the reason why they're doing this, straight up. And the reality of the situation is, you look at like regular left-leaning people that are in the Trump organization. You have like Tulsi Gabbard over there. You got what's the name? God, why is his name drawing a blank right now? Beside Elon, RFK. Thank you, RFK. Okay. I mean, you have people that have been lifelong Democrats and right there with most people in the country in terms of just common sense, doing things in a common sense sort of way. Maybe their views on certain issues may differ, but they're just regular, normal, common sense people, and they have absolutely fled into the Trump cabinet because
they are living now. They are living Ronald Reagan's famous phrase that he said, "I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me."
Bingo. Exactly.
I saw a meme the other day that was like, "Aren't you a right-wing extremist?" And he goes, "No, just a Democrat from 20 years ago."
Yeah,
right.
Well, and I saw a story today. They said that the polls say that the person who most represents the modern Democrat Party's point of view is AOC, and I thought they're right. But is that point of view sellable or marketable or
look? Nobody
the vast
wants
majority.
This. Nobody wants Tesla vehicles being set on fire and people keying, swastikas and all that. That's like, come on, guys, what's going on here? But that's what they do. It's this intimidation. They have to do that because they don't really have a point. They don't have views and values that most people agree with. So they have to use these intimidation scare tactics to try to get people on their side.
And
or to shut down the business.
The same people are the ones saying it's terrible that they're going to deport this guy at Columbia who isn't a citizen who is espousing violence and supporting murderers. Yeah. It's terrible that they're going to. Oh my God! How dare they
and
take
Rubio
away his
was
green
100%
card.
right on that one. Marco Rubio was 100% right. We never would have let that guy into the nation with a visa if he had said this on his original application. He never would have gotten to the country. So it's exactly
not now, but a couple of years ago, maybe so. Who knows?
There's two reasons. Well, there's three reasons. There's three reasons that this is the type of story that we're covering here when this channel is about entertainment and what's happening in entertainment. The first is Elon Musk took over X, and they don't like that, but he's become the king of the new media. The second reason is you've got these massive YouTube channels which are putting out these highly negative videos now all of a sudden, and which now appear strongly to be manipulated and to have a purpose behind them. And then the third reason that we're covering this is perhaps the most poignant. Why in the world is Disney in the first half, and we now believe although we cannot prove that Disney was, facilitating the first half of that video. Why is Disneyland in a video in the first half with a guy where in the second half he appears to manipulate for negative impact the Tesla company? I don't know what Disney's up to, but Disney, you don't need to be involved in this kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that's going to damage you again. I don't care if there's a beef between Bob Iger and Elon Musk. This is the kind of stuff that's going to get people really angry with you if you are participating in these kinds of things, whether knowingly or not. Get out of it.
Fearless prediction. There will be no question allowed on this at the stockholders conference next week.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to come up.
I don't think so. Yeah. And by the way, this all bends back into that earlier discussion about Michelle Obama's podcast and whatever. In that clip you had with Debbie Dingle, where she was telling the mainstream media, well, you guys are history, and they were not happy about it. Is there an audience for Michelle Obama? Hell yes. Do they know about it? No, because they're watching the mainstream media. Who knows if they promote it, they're sending their viewers somewhere else. There's a conflict of interest there that's just huge,
Well,
so
they've been undercutting themselves for a long time, though, Lou. I mean,
sure.
But you think that it's actually rung through their skull that they've basically pushed themselves out of a job with?
Yeah, I think it's starting to, when you're seeing all these people that are getting dumped, like Rachel Maddow's about to be, and what's her name, Sunny Hostin, and all the rest of them.
You watched my video today.
Of course, every day. But I remind you, earlier somebody referred to Rush Limbaugh. Remember when they started this thing called Air America that was supposed to be the left-wing answer to Rush Limbaugh? Yes. And it totally and completely tanked because they didn't know how to do it. And I mentioned in our back chat, and you guys agreed with me before I got on, that the difference between those people and Bill Maher is that Bill Maher also understands show business. He knows what an audience wants to see. These people have no clue because they've never had to appeal to an audience. They've never had to answer tough questions because the media has been in their pocket, and you get flabby and lazy and weak when that happens. And that is the what they're sowing from what they reaped with that, or whatever the term might be. Yes.
Culture.
Do you think that there's somebody on the left that can do this already? Because we mentioned somebody, and I think Ron was the one that mentioned him. It could have been Derek, but it's this fella, this Maher guy, right? Here's the problem, though. He already has Club Random podcast on YouTube. It does not get all that many views.
The problem is he's not fully controlled, and so they don't want him.
Well, yeah. Why pay for the food when the farmer gives it to you for free on the other side? But
when Bitter Citrus was on with him yesterday, the Lemonhead guy, and that episode has 157,000 views. That's it. The channel has 659,000 subscribers. Now, mind you, I would love to have 659,000 subscribers, but I'm going to tell you, this guy already has a platform. He's got a premium network behind his name, HBO. So the fact that his podcast isn't drawing much for the left, that says an awful lot. I mean, this is a major media mouthpiece and can't deliver. So to Lou's point, I know we're not supposed to continue that conversation, but I'm just going to say it's landed pretty flat in the idea that there's going to be some kind of a takeover. And you're right with the Rush Limbaugh stuff for sure.
Well, and look who's succeeded. It comes to Megyn Kelly, Trish Regan. These people have succeeded because they know how to deliver something an audience wants to see.
Yeah, and they can do it from their comfort of their Airbnb when they're traveling.
There you go.
Just, weird.
I'll say this as we get ready to wrap on this particular conversation.
Yeah.
Here's what I am very wary of, and I think that Disney shareholders should be wary of. What happens if we find out that Disney facilitated this video in some way that opens them up to litigation in terms of Elon Musk and Tesla saying, you know what? You just pulled a stunt that hurt the company gravely. Disney doesn't need to be involved in this kind of thing. I'm not saying that Disney is. I'm saying that this gives the appearance of impropriety in a way that this is too far, and Disney doesn't need to be connected to falsehoods damaging other companies where they get sued.
I have to jump in with my regrettable catchphrase. It's worse than that.
Please.
Given that the whole stuff at the beginning about sneaking into Disney was staged and fake and was done with Disney's approval and all the rest, there could be something in that somewhere that some smart, evil person could figure out on how to actually get something into Disney and hurt people.
They may
have given him the keys to the kingdom quite literally without even realizing they were doing it.
Well, we would never, ever want that to happen.
No, hell no.
Yeah, we do have to wrap. So we'll end it with this, and that is to say that the question is for Disney and for Tesla, when Mark Rober and his channel approached Disney to do this, did he explain what the second half of the video was going to be? And if he did, it's a problem. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.